Hello, this is Nancy Ray, your host for the Rebel Haven podcast, a show designed to inspire, educate, and empower our community of entrepreneurs that think differently. For as in the words of the great and late Steve Jobs, the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that do.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
I have a dream that one day
it's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Hello and welcome, my fellow rebels. This is your host, Nancy Ray, and in today's podcast, we're going to be talking about gold and the gold mine that we each have access to that is in our life right now that we are missing. Opportunities, resources, ideas that we are totally, completely oblivious to. So this podcast is inspired by a conversation I had 3 or 4 days ago when I was realizing all of the different businesses that I have launched and been a part of and all the different businesses that have failed. One of the businesses that really spurred this discussion for me was my diet business. So I was selling some diet products online, and it was a fad diet that was coming through. And when it started coming through, I immediately went out and bought a domain name, and it was a really good domain name. So what happened was there was like thousands of people talking about this diet and promoting this diet, and I got access to buying one of the supplements for it at like cost, basically cost. And I would buy this supplement for about $15, and then it sold for $115. So I was making $100 a sale basically. And I had thousands and thousands of people out there on the interwebs talking about the diet. And then people would search it, and I was, I think, second or third, sometimes first in the Google search engine, which was amazing. And I didn't do a lot to nurture the website. I could have had blog posts. I could have had a bunch of other tools and FAQs and how-to videos and whatnot. But it was pretty much just you land there. There was a little bit of an intro about the product. And then there was a form people filled out for me to call them. And I would get these automatic leads coming in. I mean, I would get anywhere from 1 to 5 leads on a good day. Now that is amazing. I'm not paying for any traffic. I'm not doing any marketing. And each sale, I was selling at least 50% of the people I would call on, I would sell. And I was making $100 a sale. It was a super, super easy, awesome opportunity for me at the time. I was in college. I had a newborn baby. We had very little money. And here's the crazy thing, is that if I would have applied even half of what I know now, started marketing things on social media, actually worked on the blog, nurtured it, followed up with my clients, because I had a lot of repeat customers. If I would have followed up with my clients and continued to like check on them and nurture them and actually coach them through their diet, I could have had a epic business. I was making about $1,800 a month just selling these drops over the phone. And here's the wild, wild part. I was only calling on maybe a third of the leads coming through. Why? I don't freaking know. I had a newborn baby. I was in college. I was anxious. I was afraid to talk on the phone. And I would have these like lulls where I felt depressed or anxious and I didn't want to call anybody. And then we'd look at the account and be like, oh, we need money to pay rent, blah, blah, blah. So I'd hurry and get on the phone, make a bunch of calls, right? I had this set point of how much money I wanted in my life. And if I saw it was getting low, I would jump on and do that. I look back at that now and realize I was sitting on a gold mine there. And if I would have rode that out, I was catching a huge tidal wave, a potential business, I could have made some great income. The results were incredible. People were getting amazing results all the time. And if I would have followed up with testimonials and pictures and, utilized Instagram, utilized these things, I could have had a really amazing, thriving business. But I didn't, because of my own lack of vision, my own inability to see outside of my present circumstance. I felt broke off my butt. I felt like there was no opportunity. And yet here I was sitting on this amazing gold mine. And I see this with every single person. There are elements to our genius, our gifts, our experience that are gold that we are not monetizing right now, that we're not utilizing. Another story I have for you is I had a woman about 4 years ago that really wanted to coach with me, but she could not afford the program. And I told her, I said, if you really want this, you can manifest the funds to do it with ease. You can have whatever it is that you want. You get to be solution oriented. You don't get to take no for an answer. Keep being creative, keep being solution oriented. So she went home and she decided to look at her life through the eyes of, I'm sitting on a gold mine, anything and everything is possible. She walked around her house, she walked through her garage, and she was just thinking, she's like, well, could I sell something? Right? And she's like, no, I don't really have anything big, like big equipment or whatnot. I just have a few old tools in the garage. Then she went, wait, I have old tools in the garage. She went into the garage and she remembered that she still had all of the equipment and everything set up for a business that she used to run with her family. And in this business, they made some sort of crafty thing, I think out of leather and wood, and they would travel all around and tour and do like big, craft fairs and farmers markets and things like that, where you set up a booth and you just sell your stuff, right? And they made some great money, and they even started, thinking about selling things online. So she had this whole business set up that she could sell. And the minute that she realized that, she started getting really excited, and she's like, okay, well, I could list this business. What could I do? And, through all of the amazing alignment and everything that she was doing, she ended up finding a buyer. And she sold that business, and she used some of those funds to invest in coaching with me. Is that amazing? She didn't even think, like, it wasn't anywhere on her radar at all. Enough time had passed that she had totally spaced it. And then all of a sudden, there it was. Now, we all have opportunities like this. We all have genius, talents, gifts, skills, resources in our space, whether it's a particular person that you could reach out and ask a question to, or ask for a connection. Like, hey, I'm looking to collaborate with someone on this project. Who do you know? Just because they're not in that industry doesn't mean they don't know somebody who is, right? It's so important to realize that everything that you want and need is in your immediate environment. Those resources are there. A lot of people think that they need to go travel 1,000 miles away from where they're living, their home base, to find the tools, people, connections, and resources. You are one or two introductions away from that one person that you're wanting to connect with, whether it be, to land yourself on a talk show or to do a podcast interview with someone. You are just one aligned, intentional, inspired action away from that. And rather than feed the story that it's so hard, it's so far away, it's so impossible, I can't do it, what if you sat down and started asking the question, where is my gold? Where is my gold? How could I harvest? How could I mine even more of my gold in this moment? How could I add even more value? How could I bring in even more income into my business right now? What is it that I could do? And oftentimes the answers to these questions, this is one of my favorite things to do when I sit down with people, they're not that crazy. When you finally say them and identify them, it's like, oh, duh, I do this one little thing. I 10 times the value I'm adding. I don't 10 times the work I'm doing and the fulfillment I'm doing. But because of that extra value add, I can up my rates. This is something I love doing with people. I love helping people set their rates, develop their courses, their programs, whatever it is, referral initiatives, whatnot. Because the little tiny ideas can change everything. But what happens is we get so tied up in our brain that it has to be something big and crazy and huge and far out there and way away from our norm that we miss these things in our environment. So begin asking yourself this question. I'm going to give you another example. One of my current coaching clients that I absolutely love, she's a complete and total badass. She has been attempting to create financial freedom in her life for several years. And she's tried lots of different things. She's done network marketing. She's done the online affiliate sales. She's been building out funnels. She's just been trying all the things. And nothing has seemed to really come together or work for her. Now, there's a lot of different reasons why that is, right? Like that we've got sabotage programs in place. We have blocks. We have limiting beliefs, lack of alignment, lack of consistent follow through, which is all connected to all sorts of different things, like it's job security for me, right? That I understand how we operate and can go in there and support with shifting all those little tiny tweaks so that everything flows in a smooth system so you get what you want. So she'd been trying for a long time. She'd quit her job, left corporate America, the job she'd been in for like 14 years at the time, and went home and tried to create this business online. Now, her energy and her method, there's so much more to this story that I could tell you, but that's what she was doing, and she was not pursuing her genius or her passion. Her passion was, I want financial freedom and I want income, but the actual work she was doing daily was not super inspiring to her, and it wasn't really mining the gold that was already in her environment. It was her going hunting. It was her traveling across the sea and climbing the mountains and searching and panning for gold, when she, right at home on her homestead, she has this epic vein of gold that has all of the money, all of the abundance, all the resources she could ever need. And here's what it is. It was so fun when I identified this. She has been doing over the phone sales and booking appointments, sort of like, telemarketer style, for about a little over 15 years. And with this company, she has logged over 40,000 hours on the phone talking to customers and working through objections and creating scripts and creating rebuttals and creating all sorts of amazing tools. And her genius and her experience in doing that has assisted this company in like 10 times their results. When she initially started working with them, she told me it was something around $500,000 a month they were bringing in. And when she finished, it was over $9 million a month that they're bringing in on average, right? Gross. So that is a significant growth, right? That is incredible. And if you guys want her information, I can totally connect you with this woman. She's amazing. She primarily works now with bigger companies that have sales forces and sales teams, but she'll also work with just, more bootstrap type businesses that are, in sales of some sort, right? Like real estate agents or network marketers or whatnot, anybody that's going to be engaging and interacting and interfacing with potential clients, B2B or even whatever over the phone. So she's amazing. Anyways, the point of this story is that when we began working together, we did a lot of shifting around her abundance mindset and her alignment and her belief. And then once we'd done that and we opened her up to the possibilities, we identified this. And it was like all of these things clinked into place in her mind. And she realized, oh my gosh, I have been sitting on a gold mine. I have so much experience with this. This is absolutely my genius. It's highly, highly valuable. I could go in and help companies totally transform the way that they're doing over the phone business and massively increase their bottom line. And it became really, really exciting and fun for her. And since that happened, since she's identified that, a lot of other things have fallen into place. It's aligned with her genius, her passion, and her purpose. We're developing a business system that she likes, that plays to her strengths. It's not a one-size-fits-all. Oh, let's just, go build a funnel and run ads. That's great, and it works, and we're going to be adding all those things in later to support what we're creating. But it's not her passion and her genius, and you get to develop your own marketing system and your way of doing your business that's different and unique, and it caters to you and your gifts. The gold can be mined everywhere. The gold is in your genius. The gold is in your preferences. The gold is in what you really, really want. And when you can align all those different areas, you will find the clearest, easiest, shortest path to your best, most fulfilling life ever. And now that we found that for her, taking action consistently, no big deal. Moving through the blocks and the self-sabotage, no big deal. She's way more playful, having way more fun, bringing in way more, to create creative solutions and ideas because she's now aligned to it. So I want you to know that the first step in really being able to shift this for yourself is to believe it's possible. Believe that it's possible that you could be sitting on a gold mine yourself. Start opening your mind up and asking different questions. I don't care where you're at or what area of life you're applying this to. When you begin to say there's never a lack of resources, only a lack of resourcefulness, when I have an open, solution-oriented, creative, playful mind, I can solve and move through anything. You will. You will have the most epic ideas and solutions come to you that will change the game. I know this. I have seen this time and time again. I absolutely believe it. That said, I want you to know whatever it is that you are dreaming of creating, whatever your vision is, it is yes, absolutely possible.